One of my favorite pieces of extra content that we post on our YouTube channel are my Reddit relationship advice videos. And this is when I comb through the relationship forums on Reddit to impart my wisdom to the confused and helpless souls who are so desperate that they're actually stooping to soliciting advice from the Reddit community. Now, my advice may not be great from an objective standpoint, but it's better than anything that, they'll get from Reddit. So today, in that spirit, I'll be trying to help a young woman whose relationship quandary, as posted to Reddit, went viral this week. I'll be helping her, and I'll also be canceling her, because that's what we do in this segment, nothing personal. I mean, usually it is pretty personal, but never mind that. A woman named Kate Whitaker on Twitter seems to be one of the first to have taken this post and amplified it, causing it to go viral. She tweeted a screenshot along with a caption revealing her bias. She says, "What on earth is going on with men?" Ironically, though, the man in question is not on Earth. He is under the earth, where all men wish to be. The Reddit post is titled, "How can I get my boyfriend to stop digging his tunnel?" Now, we see the problem already from the way she framed the situation. She says, how can I get him to stop? Rather than, should I get him to stop? Which is the real question you should be asking. She's assuming from the outset that she should stop her boyfriend from digging his tunnel. To her, it's self-evident that men should not dig tunnels, but to men, it's self-evident that we should and we must. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. Here's her version of the story. Let's read it. She says, "So I know this is a weird question, but my boyfriend likes to spend a lot of his free time digging a tunnel on some property that he inherited. I haven't seen the full extent of it, but last I saw it was remarkably deep under the surface. He spent roughly a year on it, and it's evident. The front of the thing is deep, wide, well put together. At the front, which is the only part I've seen, he's got cement beams, electric lights, even chairs, and a small table. I haven't gone into it, but it looked like the quality severely dropped as the tunnel went further, mostly becoming open dirt with some wood beams holding it up." Now, pausing here for a moment. It is baffling to me that her boyfriend has been digging this awesome tunnel and she hasn't even gone into it. This is like if he had spent a year painting a masterpiece or chiseling a beautiful sculpture out of rock and you didn't even bother to look at it. What if you were in the Sistine Chapel with Michelangelo in the year 1512 and he told you that he just finished painting the ceiling and he's like, "I just finished painting that whole ceiling. It took me forever." And you're just like, "Oh, cool." And you didn't even bother to look up and check it out. This is shocking to me, especially when the thing in question is a badass tunnel. She continues, "My biggest concern is his safety. I'm really worried that he's going to dig too deep and it'll collapse on him or something. I've tried voicing this concern to him, but he just laughs it off and assures me that he'll be fine. Aside from safety concerns, there's also the fact that he doesn't really have a social life because of this thing. I'm pretty much the only person he still talks to outside of his job, and he doesn't go out and do anything anymore. It used to be that he'd occasionally head out and do some digging on the weekends, but now he spends almost all of his free time out there. He still comes home, but he barely spends any time with me. And I know that he isn't doing anything but digging that damn hole in the ground. This can't be good for his mental health, but I don't know how to convince him to stop. He's always really happy when he comes back from digging, which is why I haven't seriously tried to stop him before. But I was talking to a friend about him, and she told me he might be going crazy. Obviously, I don't think he's insane, but I hadn't considered the mental health aspect of this, and I just don't know what to do." Okay, let's clear a few things up. Now, yes, sure, there are some valid safety concerns here. If the tunnel isn't properly built and supported or ventilated, you could, die. But let's just put the risk of death aside for a second. That's a minor detail, frankly. And also, I see no reason for us to assume, given the information provided, that this man is digging his tunnel in an unsafe way. That would be, I believe, an erroneous assumption. So let's table the whole dying situation for a moment and look at the bigger picture. First of all, speaking to the woman who wrote this, your problem fundamentally is that you think you have to understand everything about the man you're dating, but you can't and you won't. Woman will never fully comprehend man, just as man will never fully comprehend woman. We are made for each other, and yet we are mysteries to each other. That's the essence of romance. The difference, though, is that man knows he cannot understand woman, and he's okay with that. Woman, in fact, becomes very frustrated by just how okay with it he is. So, she'll say something cryptic and out of context to him, and he'll have no idea what she's talking about, but he'll just go, "Oh, okay, okay," and then get back to what he's doing. And she'll stand there stunned and say, "Well, aren't you going to ask me what I'm talking about?" And he'll say, "Okay, yeah, what were you talking about?" And he'll just hope it isn't a long story, but it always is. On the flip side, man can say nothing at all. He can simply walk into the room with a slightly abnormal facial expression, And woman will start interrogating and waterboarding him to extract every last piece of information she can about this facial expression. What are you thinking? She'll ask. And she won't accept it when he says nothing, even if that really is the answer. She must understand everything about him, but she won't. And she can't accept that. And even though she won't, I will now endeavor to lay out a few facts about men that may help women, especially this woman. The first is this. Every man dreams of two things, often related: having a secret door in his house that leads to a secret room, and building a great tunnel. This tunnel might connect one secret room to another, or it might simply go all the way down to the center of the earth, where we hope we'll expect to find goblins and dinosaurs and Elvis hiding out or whatever. There's something cathartic about digging. We are called into the earth, into the caverns. We hear the siren song, just as our forefathers did, assuming our forefathers were meerkats or dwarves from Middle Earth or something. You can't understand this. We don't understand this. And yet, this is just how it is. The other thing about men is that we're prone to becoming randomly obsessed with very weird and specific things out of nowhere. Again, we cannot explain this. We shouldn't have to explain it. For example, I recently decided that I want to get a giant aquarium with lots of rare and tropical fish in my house. And I keep telling my wife about it, and she keeps wanting to understand why I'm obsessed with being a fish owner all of a sudden. And I keep telling her that actually it's called fish keeping, according to all the videos I've watched about it. And she says, wait, you're watching videos about people who own fish? And I say they're fish keepers, and yes. And around we go. A man becomes bizarrely fixated on some arbitrary thing. A woman looks on, confused. And it's the great dance of life. Then we get to the biggest problem that I noticed in this story. Needless to say, I noticed no problems with the man who simply wants nothing but to dig. All of the problems, as usual, are with the woman. Especially when she acknowledges that the man is happy when he digs, he's fulfilled, he's doing what he wants to do, what he's called to do, and yet she talked to her friend and decided that though he's happy and seemingly mentally well-adjusted, he must be crazy. Women, listen. I know I'm not going to stop you from talking to your friends. But just realize that if you, who spend every day with your man, still struggle to understand all of his ways, then what chance does your friend have? What insight can she really offer about him? What does she know? Is she even in a healthy relationship herself? Has she even seen the tunnel? Or is she making judgments about the tunnel without all the facts? A tale as old as time. The meddling friend. This is the scourge of men everywhere. So, just stop that, ladies. Let the man be. Let him be a man. Let him dig. Let him get his $18,000 aquarium. Yes, it's $18,000. But it's worth the investment. And it helps with equity in your home or something, maybe. Anyway, let him live. Damn it, that's all I'm saying. Otherwise, you're canceled. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with all your friends.